Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. Now on today's program we have several headline-making stories. Now starting off with something that's happening across borders. Activists say that Israeli troops have boarded a yacht trying to bring humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. Connection has been lost on the Modlin, the Freedom Flotilla Coalition campaign group said on the Telegram app. It posted a photo showing people in life jackets sitting with their hands up. However, this report cannot be independently verified. Climate activist Greta Thunberg is among those aboard the vessel, which is believed to be off the Egyptian coast. Now, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz earlier ordered the military to prevent the ship from breaking the blockade of Gaza. Israel says the blockade is necessary to prevent weapons from reaching Hamas. Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs claimed the Modlin is not carrying a meaningful amount of aid to the Gaza Strip, dismissing it as a media gimmick for publicity. In a lengthy post on X, the ministry described the Freedom Flotilla ship as a selfie yacht and a celebrity's yacht that is carrying less than a single truckload of aid. Now, it is claiming that humanitarian aid is already delivered regularly and effectively via different channels and routes in Gaza. Now, the Modlin ship launched by the Freedom Flotilla group is en route to Gaza carrying humanitarian aid to Palestinians starving because of Israel's month-long total blockade. Now, coming back to Sri Lanka. As the sacred Poson Poya Day falls tomorrow, Sri Lanka has launched a comprehensive operation to ensure safety, convenience and spiritual fulfillment of thousands of devotees expected to visit historical religious sites during the day. Special security and traffic arrangements are now in effect across key pilgrimage zones including Mihintale, Anuradhapura and Thantirimale. The Poson State Festival will be officially held at the sacred Mihintale temple grounds, a site of immense historical and religious significance. Sri Lanka Police confirmed that a 24-hour security and traffic management plan is being enforced in and around the Atamasthana, that is the 8 sacred sites and other major religious locations. Special life-saving units have also been deployed near reservoirs and water bodies to ensure public safety. To accommodate the influx of pilgrims, authorities have designated 21 parking areas in Anuradhapura and 7 within Mihintale. Drivers are advised to use only these official parking zones. In support of the festival, the Sri Lanka Transport Board has deployed 200 additional buses, including special services from Colombo beyond the regular schedule. Meanwhile, the Department of Railways has introduced special train services to Anuradhapura from today until June 13th. Notably, 36 free shuttle services will operate between Anuradhapura and Mihintale during this period as well. The Public Health Inspectors Union of Sri Lanka announced that 2,500, that's 2,500 officers have been assigned to inspect food safety at Dancells across the country. According to Union Secretary Chamil Muthukuda, around 8,000 Dancells have been organized nationwide, including 193 in Anuradhapura and 98 in Mihintale alone. Now, on to a developing story here in Sri Lanka. A senior officer from the Anuradhapura prison is expected to be presented before the Anuradhapura Magistrates Court today, following his arrest by the Criminal Investigation Department yesterday in connection with the unauthorized release of an inmate. The 52-year-old prison superintendent, a resident of Kaluthara South, was taken into custody last afternoon. His arrest is linked to the controversial release of an inmate from Anuradhapura prison on Vesak Poya Day, allegedly under the guise of a presidential pardon that had not been granted. The inmate in question was reportedly released claiming he had received a presidential pardon as part of Vesak celebrations. However, the Presidential Secretariat later confirmed that no such pardon had been issued for the individual, prompting a formal complaint to the CID. Commissioner General of Prisons Tushara Upuldenia was also summoned for a second time yesterday to provide a statement regarding the incident. Public Security Minister Anand Vijaypala said that a broader investigation has been launched into previous instances where inmates may have been released without proper authorization. He emphasized that the government will take the strictest legal action against those found responsible. Now, at the same time, the acting police spokesperson also commented on the matter yesterday.
The Criminal Investigation Department is currently investigating prison officials and others suspected of being involved in the illegal release of inmates under the guise of the inmates being granted a presidential pardon. Preliminary findings have revealed evidence that some inmates who were not authorized for release were unlawfully released during previous occasions as well. The CID is continuing its investigations.
That was the acting police spokesperson commenting on the unauthorized release of a prisoner from the Anuradhapura prison. Now, at the same time, government veterinary officers across Sri Lanka have launched a 24-hour token strike starting at 6 a.m. today in protest against attempts to derail the establishment of a dedicated service constitution for their profession. Speaking to the media, Secretary of the Sri Lanka Veterinary Association, veterinarian Sirimavan Gunawardana, said that the strike is a response to efforts by certain parties to sabotage the drafting process of the proposed service constitution for government veterinarians. He said that all veterinarians in government veterinary offices, wildlife departments, zoos, quarantine services, public health veterinary units and related institutions are on sick leave today and have refrained from reporting to duty. The token strike is set to end at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Onto our weather forecast now. According to the Met Department, showery conditions is expected to enhance in the southwestern part of the island from June 10th, with strong wind gusts over the island and in the sea areas around Sri Lanka. Now, several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Galle and Matara districts. The Met Department also says that showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the northern and Nuwara provinces during the afternoon or night. Now, fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour are expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern, north central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. The Met Department is also urging the general public to take adequate precautions to prevent lightning-related accidents and stay indoors during lightning strikes. Now let's move on to another developing international story that's happening in the United States. President Donald Trump is saying that he's going to deploy 2,000 California National Guard troops to Los Angeles to respond to immigration protests over the objections of California Governor Gavin Newsom. Now these immigration authorities and demonstrators have clashed for 3 days in the Los Angeles area, with unrest beginning Friday after dozens of people were detained by federal immigration agents across different locations. Now this is a developing story in the United States, and stay with Newsfirst as we will bring you all these latest details from the US as the protests continue against the illegal detention of immigrants by ICE officers. Now let's move on to some sports news. Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner had a 100% record in 7 Grand Slam singles finals before they finally met on the last business day on Sunday. It was worth the wait. Alcaraz was the invincible, irresistible force who somehow defeated Sinner 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6 to grab a second consecutive French Open to add to his 2 Wimbledons and the 2022 Flushing Meadows title. Something had to give, but it only did so after a break-bending, body-breaking 5 hours and 29 minutes of brilliant tennis at Roland Garros. Not only that, Alcaraz has held 3 championship points down to the 4th set at this match. This French Open final will live long in the memory, although Alcaraz himself said it wasn't quite on the level of the 2012 Melbourne encounter between Rafa Nadal and Djokovic, which almost lasted 6 hours. Now let's move on to some interesting tech news coming out from US. Meta is discussing a multi-billion-dollar investment in Scale AI, according to Bloomberg. In fact, the deal value would reportedly exceed $10 billion US, making it the largest external AI investment by Facebook's parent company and one of the largest funding events ever for a private company. Scale AI provides data labeling services to companies such as Microsoft and OpenAI to help them train their AI models. Now, much of the labeling work is done by contractors. In fact, the Department of Labor in the US recently dropped its investigation into whether the company was misclassifying and underpaying employees. According to Bloomberg, the company saw $870 million in revenue last year and expects to bring in about $2 billion this year. Meta was already an investor in Scale AI's $1 billion Series F, which valued the company at $13.8 billion. Scale AI also built Defense Llama, a large language model designed for military use, on top of Meta's Llama 3. Well, that brings an end to this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. But keep yourself updated with what's happening here at home and across the world. For that, log on to our award-winning website, that's www.newsfirst.lk, or follow us on our social media handles on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also TikTok. And also don't forget to subscribe to our WhatsApp channel, where you will get all these stories in detail onto your palm-held devices. Until I see you again, stay safe and take care.